You're welcome back to the YouTube channel, The Overflow Life with Dr. Okay. The month of October is wrapping up, and the month ran so fast, like so fast. Oh, thank God it's coming to an end. And the month of October we dedicated to getting rid of self-doubt, putting out self-doubt, getting rid of it, pushing it out of our life. And I believe you've been asking yourself some questions. If you have watched the videos that we have on self-doubt, if you haven't, I would advise you to go back and watch them. There are lots of things that you would learn from there. How to handle self-doubt, what self-doubt is, how they present themselves, what to do about them, and strategies to overcome self-doubt. Or have that on the YouTube channel. And so to wrap up the month, I just thought what we should do is to pay attention to things in our life. I have a typical example of something that happened. It just happened this morning. The AC of my car, this car, wasn't doing well. And so my husband had to take it to the guys that work on the car. And apparently they worked on it. They had it for a few days. They worked on it and some other things. And the car was sent back 2 days ago. So I used the car yesterday. When I got back home, he was asking me, how was the AC? I said, it's normal, it's the way it's been. He said, no, not after spending this much on it. Did you even pay attention? And I said, pay attention. But it took a while. I drove the car for like 30 minutes. If it's been fixed for 30 minutes, I should see the difference in it. So I thought about it like, did I really pay attention? But anyway, I'll use the car tomorrow. I will know if it's been fixed. So as I was driving out this morning, I was leaving. He called out to me, remember, pay attention to the AC. Pay attention to the AC. And so I drove. I made a turn because I have to turn out to come out. I made a turn. Immediately I drove out. I had a good feel of the AC immediately. And so I chorused out. I said, it peaked early. It peaked early. Because what used to happen is it take a while for the AC to come on and before it to get home. And the distance, usually I don't drive that long. So I don't feel it. By the time it's picking up and I'm not there. So paying attention to it made the difference. So today, I'm talking to us about paying attention, how paying attention to things in our life can make the difference. I'm sure you know the popular saying that is commonly said in Christendom, what you pay attention to grows. If you have issues, don't focus on the issues, focus on the faithfulness of God and be grateful to God, do those things, and then that will grow in your eyes is very true. What you pay attention to becomes very pronounced in your life. If you decide, for instance, that you want to buy a red car, maybe a red CRV, I have a red RAV4 rather by my side here. If I pay attention to a red RAV4 and I say that is the car I want, it's the car I want to get, you just find out that all of a sudden you're just seeing a lot of those cars around. That happened to me when I had a Toyota Scion car. I loved that car. I loved cute, beautiful car, cute, small, cute, unique. I love it. When I had Toyota Scion car, I just found out that I started seeing Toyota Scion cars in the city I live in. But I wasn't seeing them when I didn't have that. But because I had that car and it was on my mind, it's in my life, I now began to see it. That's what happens when you pay attention. When you don't pay attention to things that are happening in your life, you lose track. And when you lose track of the things that are happening in your life, you don't have control. You don't have the firm control of it. That's when you now begin to get overwhelmed and you don't know what to do. Oh, how do I handle what happened to this? It's getting out of. That's it. Our lives should be something that we'll have checkups on. Have checkups on our life. How do I mean? You have we'll have something like organizations, good organizations that are doing what is right. They have fitness to work exercise that they do. The fitness to work exercise that is carried out is just to be sure that the humans in the organization are fit to work. And the reason they do that is do a quick check. It could be every other year that is done, just to be sure that everything is okay. And where they notice something out of line, it is quickly arrested. So they know when you run the test and they find out there's a gap or something, there's a sign, they'll say, you need to repeat this test. We need to confirm what is going wrong here. So whatever the thing is, attention can be given to it. There are certain things in our lives that we can gain victory over if we shine light on them. So if you run the fitness to work test and they find out there's something about the heart is not really clear, we need you to do a repeat test. You go on to do a repeat test and I say, oh, it's clearer, there's nothing wrong, everything is fine. Or you need to cut down on this, or you need to, what the doctors they do, they just want you to take out all the good things in life. Don't take milk, reduce your oil, don't eat granules, don't eat cashew nuts. You should eat easy things that are not sweet. They will tell you to eat. Focus on those ones and eat. But all they do is to help shine light on the things that are not good, not doing well, so that you can have a better life, a fulfilling life. And you know, on this channel, all we do is to bring things to light, help you shine light on those things that will hold you back from enjoying your life, So I would say that in your life, pay attention to the things that are happening. Is it your relationships, your marriage, your spouse, your significant other, anyone around you, whatever you're doing, your job? Just sit down and pay attention to them. Like, take stock, more or less, or saying take stock of what's happening in your life, so that you can prepare yourself to take out what shouldn't be there. If you realize that you feel tired every time, you just feel exhausted, you're just in need, you're grasping for air, you can't be, or you're not able to walk a long distance, you know you have to do something about your weight. So you can go and check that out and do something as small as taking a walk, 20 minutes walk a day. Even if you can't do 20, start off with 10. You can increase it to 15 as time goes on, and increase it to 20. I talk about walk all the time because that is what I do. I like to walk. I'd rather walk down than drive down. I enjoy it. I like it, and I like doing it in the morning. But if I can't take it in the morning, I do it in the evening. All I need to do is just to ensure I clock in 7,000 steps or 10,000 steps a day. For the past week or so, I've been trying to make up 10,000 steps, and as we do it most of the days, I'm able to do it, but sometimes I'm not able to achieve that. It's a good way to pump your heart. It's a good way to keep your body moving, your joints. Because I find out that when I don't do the walk now, I feel it. I feel pain in my back. I feel pain in my nails. So I just ensure I do that. What am I saying? Pay attention to the things that are not working in your life and sit back to find out what that is. And one way that you can do that is for you to think about it. Just sit down and think about it. Journaling is good. I love to journal, and that's it's something I encourage anyone to do, and have a daily devotional that's coming out. So going to have that, my daily gratitude, where you can be grateful for something, write about it. The thing about writing is, when you want to put things together to write, it helps your head to process what that is. So you're able to process it because you want to write. You're writing about it, so you process, you form it, you put your thoughts together for you to be able to write. And because you have written it, it stays with you. They are not doing anything about it at all. So you write in it, because life is tough. Yes, life is tough, and the only way you can go through life and be able to enjoy life is for you to pick out those things that are coming at you, because life will throw questions at you, and when those questions come and you're not able to answer the questions well, they leave gaps with you. So if life throws questions at you, you should answer them. Let me give you an example. If you have a friend who has been your friend, maybe you guys were friends back in when you were in secondary school, college, or how it's called, and over time you just find out that you're drifting apart, and you're making effort, you want that person to know you don't, you've been friends, you have to be friends, you have to be friends, but it's just not working. It may be a time for you to sit back and check, why is it difficult for us to connect? Why is it difficult for us to still pull on like we used to? It may be that your values have changed, the other person's values have changed, and so you don't connect anymore. And because you don't connect anymore, it makes it difficult for you to be together on the same plane. So you don't struggle over it, because I strongly believe that there are people that God put on your path at different seasons of your life. When my kids were younger, I had people who had younger kids like me, and we spent time together. We go to parties together, we do swimming, go for swimming lessons together, we do things together. The children have grown and moved on. They equally have moved on to different phases of their life, and I am in a different phase of my life, and so the friends and people I have around me now, they are different. So if at this point in time I'm trying to just hang on and make sure I'm still in relation, I'm trying to relate to that person, to be very frustrating, because we really don't have things in common anymore. Now I'm a YouTuber, and then I have friends who are in this environment where I am. They are the friends that I have now, because we have things in common, and I can call up to say, I'm trying to do this. How do I do this? Which I actually did yesterday. Called up my friend, I'm trying to do this. How do I do this? I want to do this. How do I do this? So it means at different seasons of your life, you have different people and different things that you're doing, and life is throwing at you different questions. These questions that life is throwing at you, you have to sit down and answer those questions, because if you don't answer the questions, they leave gaps. And in the course of answering those questions, you need to pay attention to what you need to do to get those questions off your mind. So I'm talking about relationship. The example I'm looking at is when you have a relationship with someone and it's not working. So it's for you to sit back to look, why is this relationship not working? We're supposed to catch up for this, we couldn't make it. We're supposed to do this, why is it not working? The reason is because you don't have things in common like you used to anymore. Your values, your priorities have changed. And so because the values and priorities have changed, they are looking forward to something else while you are looking forward to something else. So it becomes different. You're not able to meet on that plane. It is not a bad thing for you to call that relationship off. It's not call off as you're not friends anymore, but don't beat yourself over it that you're not able to relate with this person like you used to relate with a person. Because friendship needs your attention. You have to pay attention. You have to be available for it. So if you're not being available for it, the relationship will not work. So when you pay attention to what you consider important in your life, the questions that are thrown at you, you are able to address those questions and work on them, right? Then I can live a satisfying life in relating with that person. But if I choose not to talk about it and I cover it up and just let it be, it will be brewing like cancer, eating deep into my emotions and all, and I come out to be someone who is bitter, not necessarily to that person, but maybe to some other person. I come out as someone who is bitter, someone who is angry, someone who freaks out. You become irritable. Every little thing that happens around you, you have triggers here and there, and it's not a good way to live life. You need to live life in a more satisfying way. and that is bringing your entire self to the party. Bring yourself all before, bring your elements, whatever it is, you bring them to the fore, wanting to be your authentic self. So if you're going to be your authentic self, you need to bring everything to the party. Don't leave part of you. Bring all yourself to the party. And so you're able to address things that are not right, things you don't like, for you to be able to correct them. And challenges, you handle them. Whatever it is, you just in that way, you're not self-sabotaging yourself. If you choose not to address issues, you're self-sabotaging yourself, because the issues you don't address, they don't go away. They are there, they are growing, they are taking deep roots. And by the time they now come off, they become very strong. That's why it is good if you have a traumatic past. You should talk about it. Get someone that you can talk to. Just pour out your heart. I had someone that I spoke to some few days back, and she was telling me how growing up was so tough for her, because she grew up in a house where she's not allowed to speak. Her voice is not heard. Nobody wants to listen to what she has to say, and that posed a problem for her, because she grew up keeping to herself and not talking. And by the time she got married, she now got married to a man who is very outpouring, busting every little thing he wants to. No, let's address this. And she just feels, I can't talk about this now, but no, we have to talk about this. So she felt traumatized, and she just felt like he's not even understanding what she's saying, because he grew up in a different environment where there are issues, you just trash it and you move on. But for her, she had to bring herself up with a whole lot to be able to do. And I told her, you have to walk through that. And what I had to do, I drew up a program with her, or what to do is to, relieve that, getting into your inner self, get the inner child that was shut down. You have to hear that child in it, because children, in growing up, they pick up their languages. I have a video on the YouTube channel that talks about that. They pick up their languages when they're growing. A little child that is asking questions, as the child is asking questions and you're answering the child is picking up languages and forming memories in their head, and they know when they ask questions, you ask. But when a child asks a question and you shut the child down, the child learns not to ask questions, and those questions that are not answered don't go away, they are there, and they begin to model up the emotions of that child, and that's why the child is traumatized. So you have an adult that is grown and all, and the child cannot express themselves. They can't speak. They just say, it's better not to talk about it. I'll keep there. It's better not to talk about it. No, don't worry, I'm okay. It's better not to talk about it. So questions that you're supposed to answer are not answered because the child is traumatized. What is trauma? Trauma is a significant event in someone's life that turns the person's life the other way. So someone that is traumatized, before now you're friendly, you can go out, you can do, something happens and you're shut down. It can be grief, it can be anything unpleasant that happens that turns you the other way around. In it is trauma. And if you don't talk about it, if you don't walk through it, it will continue to show up in the things you do. And they bet triggers in your life. And the triggers are something that will happen that connects to that and takes you off. And you have someone that would have an outburst. I had someone that had an outburst in the office. And I was just like, oh God, this person is traumatized. This person is traumatized. This person needs help. This person needs help. Because just a little discussion that you're asking, and someone just asked the question, how dare you ask me this? How would you say that kind of thing to me? I said, oh boy, it's not that deep in it. But when someone is traumatized, very little things become triggers for the person, and it can take the person up. So I've come today to tell you, one way not to self-sabotage yourself is to pay attention to things that are happening in your life. Sit down with yourself and think about that. This thing is not working. What is the question this is presenting to me? Sit down and answer the question. Don't push down your emotions. Whatever challenges are coming, address them. If you can't address them, look for someone that can help you address those things. So you reach out for help. Support system. We have a video on support system. We have support systems around us, but pay attention to them. If you don't pay attention to these things, you can't maximize them. So pay pay attention to the things that are happening in your life. And when they present questions to you, answer them. Sit with yourself and answer those questions that are popping up. You are saying, why is this thing not working? What can I do differently? I'm not enjoying my job. Why am I not enjoying my job? Sit down, answer those questions, and you will enjoy a satisfying life. All right, enjoy your day. Bye.